Hello, this is Bonsai, or known as Excel, and I'm just using the FAZZ Jazz. And when I mean the FAZZ Jazz, you gotta have to put some music on when you're just playing with this mobile suit. You just know that FAZZ is just, it's crazy. You know what I mean? And one shot is all it needs. You know, when you have those pesky players who are literally going around thinking that they are from the most ultimate Zeta series, you just pop one beautiful, luscious, bright light into their direction, and they're gone. And that's the thing about this mobile suit. This mobile suit is pretty damn delicious when you land those nice juicy shots, and as you can see, one shot was able to completely destroy a Zeta Gundam. And that is some savage things. And this bot is one thick bot, and I swear to God, man, this thing is just freaking wonderful. It kicks ass in all sorts of directions, but you know, it comes with some really bad things, and one of those bad things is the size. But you know, sometimes the size really doesn't really matter in certain moments. Now, for this mobile suit is just so goddamn dangerous. When players don't see this thing coming, they really don't see this coming, because it's just a light speed of death, as you can see. And when you do those clutch shots, you start loving this mobile suit more and more and more. Now here's a GBO1, and there's a FAZZ. Now this GBO1, I believe it has like around 16,000 health. And what you want to do is don't aim at the head, you aim at the crotch. That's where it hurts the most, and you just have to use it that specific way. If you don't use it that specific way, what's the point? What is the point of using the FAZZ Jazz? Now, yeah, that's pretty damn devastating effect. Now, when you get one of these mobile suits, this support in your arsenal, you're gonna start loving this thing. There are some players who are just absolutely clutch with this thing. They can do some really nice, insane stuff, but it really depends. If your team just leaves you out in the open and by yourself, and you're there with your gun charging, you know, you're gonna get staggered, obviously, because you don't have too much of a potential of rapidly doing things. But this mobile suit has so much armaments. I just have to enjoy this thing. You have to enjoy this thing when you're freaking going in. And when you go in deep, dude. You go in real thick and deep. You get the big old thick giant gun, and you know, you start having a fetish. You start having a fetish with this gun. I have no clue how my beam saber did not go through that FAZZ, but there's always a second chance right there. Now, what I love about this mobile suit is when you're literally in combat, you can literally boost and activate all your weapons all in the same time. You know, you can activate your rockets, you can activate, you know, 60 rounds of extreme speed bullets, and then you come in with your double beam gun, which I have to say, I love it. And what I find really devastating is when you're trying to approach opponents with this thing, they have to stagger you, and they have to stagger you very madly, and they start thinking twice. They're like, either go after that skinny bot over there, or should I go after this thick bot that's just throwing so much rounds and so much goddamn freaking pulverizing, you know, hit points. You're gonna have to go after the big guy, because you know the big guy can do some really devastating damage, and this mobile suit has such a big target on its head. It's pretty damn amazing. Now, some players, they can make this mobile suit do some insane wonders. I can't pull the wonders that a lot of players do with this mobile suit, but for a whole idea's sake, we are going to try to find out how much damage the beam cannon does on generals. So throughout this test, I was like, okay, that GBO1 basically had like around 16,000 health, I believe. And I wanted to go and check for the 600 cost GBO1. I wanted to see if it makes a difference. Now, this mobile suit is perfect for 3 levels. It is perfect for a 650 match. It's perfect for a 600 match. It's perfect for a 550 match. Now, as you can see the power of the gun, and the power of the gun is the most juicy part of the whole mobile suit. And as you can see, this is the GBO1. As a matter of fact, that had 17,000 health for the regular thing, and this one has around 16,000 health. Now, what I was trying to figure out is how much damage does it potentially have for a beautiful, nice open shot for opponents. Now, there are a lot of mobile suits that have these beautiful one-shotters. There is like a Dovenwolf. There is, I believe, Gundam Unit 4. Then there is the 7th Gundam with its beam cannon, and there is this specific Gundam. I believe there's some other ones too, but I haven't ran into a lot of them lately. But boy oh boy, it is so fun taking out dudes with one shot with this thing. That's how devastating this mobile suit is. And if you can land your shot on a mobile suit that you know for a fact that has a little bit of HP, you will understand the power of this mobile suit. Now, this is a DJ. Now, for DJs, I believe they have like around 19,000 to 20,000 HP for, you know, standard statistics. Some mobile suits would usually have like components of more HP that they want to put in there, but it really depends, you know. Just don't get shot majority of the time. Now, I wanted to zoom in, and you have to aim at the crotch. Always the crotch shot. You know what I mean? Look at that. Almost 19,000 damage. 19,000 damage. Now, put that to perspective. That basically destroys the GBO1, level 1, level 2, probably level 3. Now, these are some basic matches with this thing, and I swear to God, man, I love this thing. I know it's real nice and thick, and you know, players have a hard time trying to approach this thing in certain moments, but I swear to God, I've had so many games with this mole suit that I've been able to get 4th place with this mole suit. And there are literally so many goddamn games that I've been able to record for specific sort of mobile suits, and I will be releasing a lot of these recordings over time, and I will give a 1 to 10 rating, probably maybe way over the rating. The power of this mobile suit is just amazing. and you just have to get real nice in there. You gotta get those clutch shots. You have to wait for that perfect moment. And when I mean that perfect moment, when you see an enemy mobile suit get staggered, pop the goddamn cannon. Make this mobile suit so powerful to the point that they want to nerf this thing. You know what I mean? Like, you have to think about, what can I do to trigger every player in this game. Imagine a whole team. Imagine a whole team of the Jazz FAZZ. Now, if the whole team had nothing but Jazz FAZZs, those rounds would probably take one death, one easy death for the opponents. So let's just say there were literally 6 enemies on the team and there were 6 FAZZs on your team. Imagine if all your FAZZs landed your beautiful, thick, beautiful gun on each one of those targets. Those are 6 targets erased. And you just have a bunch load of FAZZs wandering around. And if you have a bunch load of FAZZs wandering around, you start thinking, man, is that broken or is that not broken? I wonder. Now, when I use this mobile suit, I think of this as Papa support. You know, like Papa support where it's wickedly awesome. You know, this mobile suit kind of reminds me of a GBO2 MLRS, but absolutely on steroids. They basically gave all sorts of pills to this goddamn mobile suit, and it's got real nice HP. Now, what I recommend, what you put on this mobile suit is more HP and range boost. When you add more range boost, man, this thing like whips. It whips like, man, it's insane. And the rockets, the wonderful machine gun pistols on this thing is wild. And when I mean wild, players just see their life get shredded in their very eyes, and it really isn't fair sometimes. Now, this mobile suit can handle almost any sort of mobile suit in this entire game because of the melting capabilities that this thing has is just wild. Now, there is one catch. There is only one catch, and this one catch is that you do not have speed, and you are very slow. And when I mean you are very slow, you cannot do all sorts of obstacles. You can't do all sorts of things. But majority of the time, I feel like it feels a lot more better when you use this in space. When you use this mobile suit in space, I swear to God, this mobile suit can just do some real nice, insane disaster. In certain moments, it just blows me away. And sometimes you just have to do whatever you can to conserve the boost of this FAZZ machine. And this is a battleship. You just gotta keep in mind, this thing is probably the size of a real life battleship, which is, you know, not real, but you could just imagine imagine the power, the potential this thing can have if you just master this thing every single day. And the worst part is, like, it's just so slow. You know, it's slow, but man, look at that. beautiful. That man was probably shrouded in missiles. He probably couldn't see his whole screen because his whole screen was covered in missiles. Now that's what makes this mole suit just exceptional. I've had moments where I literally throw in a missile barrage of missiles on a dude who's laying on the floor, and you can break legs for days. And I'm not literally on a professional level where people tend to break legs all the time, but when you break the legs, man, oh boy, it's really savage stuff. And as you can see, I'm such a big, fat, juicy target that I'm literally hugging this hill, literally. And this is the only little gap that I can actually pop my big, thick boy body out. You know what I mean? Like, I love this thing. You know? I love it. And the best part about this mole suit is that, you know, it takes more than one stagger weapon to stagger you. It usually takes like around 2 or 3 weapons to stagger you. Like stagger weapons. And man, oh man, it really frustrates players because sometimes they be coming towards you, and you know, raids sometimes, and what I mean sometimes, have one stagger option, and one stagger option is not enough. You can throw in a whole 60 rounds into him, or you can throw literally missiles, and when you throw missiles, they have the capability of staggering the opponent many times, many times, and it really stops enemy raids in the track. But the turning speed of this mobile suit, it just feels non-existent, and I keep on getting 4th place with this mole suit, and I was capable of getting 3rd places with this mole suit. I cannot find a specific 3rd place video where I'm just literally walking with this thing casually, just walking with it, and I'm just throwing rounds after rounds and after rounds, and it was such a sight to behold of how amazing this mole suit is. But as wild as it sounds, I didn't have, you know, enough room or capabilities of recording the whole video. Now, as you can see, I was basically in this Arctic base map, and this is one of the worst maps for this mobile suit to be in. It was just really bad for me to be in this map in the first place. I don't know what I was thinking. This was a 4v4 game. Literally, this was a 4v4 game, and after this match, there was a whole enemy team filled with raids, and I swear to God, I could not do nothing. I could do nothing this whole match because all the raids were hunting me. Because, oh, look, that's a slow-moving target. Let's get everybody over there and shoot it to hell. And it sucks, but in reality, when you get matches where it involves the enemy generals, I swear to God, this thing just, oof, it's like ice and hot water sometimes. And it's wicked too. When I mean wicked, the wicked thing is the main gun of this. The main gun of this mobile suit is just awesome. Now, this double beam rifle that it basically has, oh man, that thing is devastating. Sometimes you can literally throw in like around 2 beam rifles in there. It does some real nice damage. You know, that's almost like 3k damage per shot uncharged, but when it's fully charged, I believe it does like around 3,500 if you fully stock this mofo, this jazz machine. And when you stack this jazz machine with the right amount of boost, man, this thing can get some wicked damage out. And as you can see, look at this. Look at this. Now, when an enemy player is knocked down, when you aim at the legs with this mole suit, I swear to God, sometimes I'd be watching these guys going around like that. You know, his legs are defeated. And that's what I love about this mobile suit. Once you have your health completely obliterated, you only have, like, let's just say 1 HP, this thing can redeem itself. And when I mean redeem itself, it's got the cannon to take out around 18,000 damage. Now, what I find so sick about it, it's like, oh, that's a perfect trade-off. 1 hit point versus 18,000 hit points. And you know, maybe my numbers ain't like right, but man oh man, when this thing lands, it is worth it. It is worth it. And I believe this one shot was capable of literally saving a game. Look at that. 19,000 damage. And that's the thing. You know, it really depends on specific type of mobile suits. There are some mobile suits that have less beam resistance, and this is a beam cannon. So the less beam resistance an enemy mobile suit has, oof, the more damage you can do on a specific target. Now, I swear to God, when you have beam resistance hooked and locked on this mobile suit, man, it does some swaggy stuff. And the thing is, when you pop in a shot, man, things start to get real funky. And when I mean real funky, you just start realizing, whoa, that was insane. Look at this. That guy probably was looking at this mole suit and saying, like, what the funk, man? Now, that's what I love about this mole suit. You can fire on the move. You know, and that's what I find amazing about this mobile suit. You know, look at this. Now that is some really, really savage power this mole suit has, and it has capabilities of doing a lot of, you know, wild things. And you know, it has its beam cannon. It's got this juicy double-wheeled beam rifle. Then it's got its machine guns. Then it's got 8 rounds on the side, which, you know, sometimes lands, sometimes it doesn't. Then it's got like around 35, you know, rockets that just propel out of this big giant battleship, you know. And those are some nice regular specific statistics on that map, and that's a horrible map for this mobile suit to be in. I am just saying. Now, this mobile suit is amazing for big open maps like this. If you're in a big open map like this, you start to have a humongous, like, a jazz party in this goddamn freaking mobile suit. It probably has its very own nightclub in this thing. Now, this thing is a pretty damn wicked mobile suit. And I will be giving a rating about this mobile suit soon enough. Now, as you can see, the zoom modifier range of this mobile suit is pretty damn good. And if you can lock in a perfect range where the enemy opponent can't see this beam rifle, you can be behind a building, you know, with only your big old rifle sticking out. Now, as you can see, I am waiting for the perfect moment for an enemy opponent to pop its body out, or a perfect moment when I can see an enemy opponent like get staggered. But it really takes time, you know. Now, I was waiting for this mobile suit, enemy mobile suit, to get staggered right there, and I was able to pop a nice shot through that hole. And having a nice shot through a specific type of moment like that, it kicks ass, you know what I mean? And as you can see, this raid was in one of the best, like, worst scenarios, and this raid is getting overmaneuvered by a whole team full of supports. Now, I swear to God, this is kind of a nerf that they need to work on. When you have a whole team full of supports, sometimes this whole team of supports can steamroll all the generals. And when I mean all the generals, it's really insane things. Now, I will be mentioning things about generals in this game, and their overuse and the whole sort of criteria of how they are supposed to be used and how they are supposed to be you know, rocked with. And I think I have a lot more videos of generals than raids and supports. Like, I am not BSing, but they just come all the time, you know what I mean? They come out of the blue because they're majority of the time it's just one of those major bots that everybody just love using, which is understandable. Now, when you're using this mobile suit, you have to think real effectively, and as you can see, I was using this mobile suit on the move against an enemy raid. And the Kaplat, this mobile suit is a very dangerous raid, very dangerous. And what you do not want to do is do that. It's just hilarious because you're just a big, thick, you know, party animal. You just have that sort of party animal aspect in this mobile suit. And the thing is that when you see a raid, you have to think twice. You have to throw everything you have at the raid with this mobile suit. You know, it's a must, because if that raid gets close to you, like an Arajar or a Cubile, or, you know, the Cubile Mark II, anything that has a dual wield weapon on it of melee, that's when problems start to happen, because that's where they can take advantage of using infinity melee. Infinity melee meaning that they can basically stagger you for basically forever. And when I mean basically forever, you just can't get out of it. No matter what you do, you cannot get out of it. Now, as you can see, what this mole suit is pretty good for is providing cover for your team members. And sometimes when this mole suit, this FAZZ comes into play, is when you have your whole team right behind you or right beside you, and your whole team is pushing and you're just walking it. That's one of the best feelings that this mobile suit gives, and it gives a really nice vibe when you just literally don't have to evade anything. You know, sometimes it just has too much power. As you can see, this enemy raid that's specifically right there, the Kaplan, he was an ace. And the only way he was only able to become an ace is because for him it's a field day for him, because the whole enemy team is just filled with nothing but, you know, supports. But as you can see, a lot of the generals, all of us supports are thirsty. And when I mean thirsty, we are thirsty for goddamn generals. And like I said, man, it's like digging hands in a cookie pot. Sometimes it could be like a turkey shoot sometimes. And the thing about this humongous gun is that there will be moments when you will miss, but majority of the time when I miss, it's either they either dodge roll out of the situation, that's probably it, or one of my team members getting away. But this mole suit has the capability of, what's the word, it's got the capability of piercing. So if, let's just say there were 3 enemies lined up in one specific spot, man oh man, this thing can do some really devastating damage. And a really good strategy, a really like messed up strategy, is that you can tell your team to say, you can say fall back for now. Your whole team would fall back and an enemy team will obviously push forward. While you have your gun charged up, you can pop a beautiful heavy load. And when I mean a heavy load, you give them the little sense of, you're not the one with the biggest gun here, you know. And that's what I find amazing about this mobile suit. Sometimes it could be 1-for-1 sometimes, you know. Now at this specific moment, there was a enemy player trying to get below me, and I had a big gun charged up. I was waiting for someone to stagger this dude, but the dude was taking forever, and I barely grazed him. Barely grazed him. And that's how it is sometimes, you know. Sometimes you have to make these inappropriate shots, and that's one of those inappropriate shots where I had to launch my rifle or I'm gonna die eventually. So it is worth the points, and the more points that you offload on this mobile suit, the more capabilities that this mobile suit has on enemy players. Oh, this is the one video that I really love because of the surprise aspect that this thing has. You know what I mean? Sometimes players just don't see this thing coming. And you know, I'm one of those sort of players when I'm kind of busy doing something, you know, and this guy comes out of nowhere with the big gun and stops the whole sort of moment. And look at that. The machine gun fire of this mole suit just shreds. And when I mean shreds, it's dangerous. And this video, it was kind of like a normal random match. And specifically, you have to come in looking real amazing, you know. And I just wanted to color this mobile suit, you know, black and red, because the blood of the mobile suits are running down this mobile suit, you know. Look at this. And the thing is that sometimes you don't have your gun set up precisely. And this match is basically a 650 match. You know, you can be literally kicking ass with this mole suit. In high tier, low tier, any sort of tier, you know. You just have to be, you know, strategic in how do you use it. Now, this mole suit, this FAZZ, man, oh man, this thing has to be one of a kind. You know, when you're in low HP, that's kind of like those moments when you want to pop the Hades. Now, this has to be one of my favorite parts of the whole video. Like, look at this. Look at, I believe over there at that side, number 1 and the enemy player. Look at this enemy player. He's like, oh, I'm gonna get this man. I'm gonna get him. I'm so good, man. I'm gonna get my revenge. This man won't see me coming. Look at this. Oh, this is Unit 4, man. Look at this. Boom. You're welcome, sir. That's pretty damn groovy, huh? That's what I love about this mobile suit. And those magical shots about this mole suit, it's just amazing. You know, this sort of mole suit is kind of one of those mole suits where you just basically kick back and you relax in a lot of these moments. And I also have this other video of a support which is pretty damn effective. You know what I mean? And yeah, if I had to rate this mole suit, I'd give this a 10 out of 11 because, man, this thing is a powerhouse. And sometimes I don't understand why can I not use the big old gun on its forehead, you know? But oh well. One big gun is good enough for me. If it does a lot of, KOs, I'm cool with it. And see y'all later. Take care.